You placed the dishes on the dining table. He was already there, Jungkook. You took your seat, slowly glancing at him once. His face was unreadable. Eyes distant like always. He was not but rude, just quiet. You didn't have to wait. I told the maid to serve you first. It's fine. I didn't have much to do anyways. He noticed slightly, picking up his glass of water. There was no hate in his eyes, just indifference. A man who lived with control, order, and rules. You looked down at your plate, forcing yourself to eat a little, pretending your hands were not shaking. The silence was not new, but lately it felt heavier. He had been coming home late, working non-stop, barely saying anything. You understood it. He was the head of one of the biggest mafia groups, but still, sometimes you wished he would look at you the way he used to, even if it was only for a few seconds. You ate quietly until he finished. He wiped his hand with napkin and stood up. Don't stay up late. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Okay, good night. He nodded once before leaving the room. You inhaled softly, staring at your reflection in the empty glass in the front of you. You were used to it now. His distance, his silence, but what he didn't know was that you were hiding something that could change both of your lives. You stood up and walked towards your room. Your hand were resting on your stomach, and you didn't know if you should be happy or terrified because your marriage, it was not out of love. It was a deal, a contract marriage between a coal CEO boss and a woman trying to survive her family pressure. 2 years, that's all it was supposed to be. No feelings, no promises, and no family. But 6 weeks ago, everything changed. That one night he came home tired, and when the world felt quieter. And for the first time, he didn't push you away. And now here you were, sitting alone, crying, carrying his child in silence, afraid of what would happen if he ever find out. Next morning, you stood near the counter, pouring coffee into cups, one for him and one for yourself. You barely slept. The word repeated in your head all night, and now you just stood there pretending everything was normal. Jungkook walked in. His hair was slightly messy, shirt half unbuttoned, and looking calm but tired. You are up early? Couldn't sleep much. Thought I would make breakfast. He nodded and sat at the table, scrolling through his phone while you served toast and egg in silence. His presence was quiet, not heavy, just unreadable like always. You took a sip of your coffee, trying to look anywhere but at him. He finally spoke. I checked the paper last night. The contract ends next year. Your hand paused in midair. You forced a smile. Next year already. Time really went fast. 2 years, that what we agreed, remember? And after that, we both go our ways. You nodded, trying to look calm. Though your heart started pounding faster. You wanted to tell him so badly about the baby, about how things were not that simple anymore, but the words stuck in your throat. Yeah, I remember. He finally looked at you. Then, just for a second, his eyes were softer than usual. He looked pale. Are you feeling unwell? No, just a little tired. Maybe the weather? Take some rest today. Don't overdo anything. I will. He nodded before heading towards the door. As soon as it closed, you let out a shaky breath, pressed your hand against your chest. The office was silent except for the fainted tap of the rain on the window. Jungkook sat behind the desk, a file open in the front of him. His eyes were not moving, crossing the page. What's wrong with her lately? She didn't even argue when I said the contract ends next year. Usually she has something to say about everything. He glanced at the clock. She looked pale too. Maybe she's sick. No, she would have told me, right? It's not my business, anyways. She'll be free soon. That's what she wanted. But even as he said the words, they didn't sound convincing. A soft knock come from the door. The maid entered quietly. Sir, did you call me? He didn't look up right away. Yes, I'll be leaving soon. There is a mission I have to handle, so make sure your madam eats something and tell her to rest. She have been off lately. Of course, sir. I'll take care of her. When she left, the office fell silent again. Jungkook leaned back to the chair, staring at the ceiling. I have to do something, I'm sure. He don't remember about that night. And even if I tell him about this chat, he questioned me. Another thing, I know him, he doesn't like kids. What if he said he don't want no. Suddenly the door opened. You quickly laid on the bed pretending to be asleep. He stood there for a few seconds, not saying anything. You could feel his gaze on you. Then his voice came, low and steady. I wanted to talk before I leave, but you're sleeping. I'll be gone for a few days. Don't skip meals, right? Alright, and don't overthink things. There was a pause, long enough to make your chest ache. You never listen, anyways. You almost smiled at it, almost the sound of footsteps moving closer. You felt the fainted brush of his finger pushing a loose strain of your hairs away from your face. You wanted to open your eyes to say something, anything, but your fear won. He stood there for a moment longer before whispering, Goodbye, Ryan. You stayed still for a second, your throat tightening. Then finally you sat up, eyes filling with tears. You don't even know what goodbye means this time, Jungkook. And the next morning, you stood in the middle of your bedroom, sunlight slipping softly through the curtains. His side of the bed was untouched, just like always. You looked around the room, everything in its place. You took a deep breath, walked towards the wardrobe, your hands trembling slightly as you tried to folding your clothes and placing them carefully into a small bag. Maybe it's better this way. Your hands drifting towards the desk where the contract papers lay neatly stacked. You pulled out one sheet that agreement that tied you both together. You stared at it for a moment before picking up a pen. On the back, you write slowly. Your handwriting was shaking. Sorry, boss, but I have to go. I have signed this paper to hand over contract. Thank you for everything. And it had been hours since you left the mansion. The driver dropped you near a narrow city where your old house still stood. You dropped your bag near the couch and inhaled. Your hands were moving to your stomach. We are really home now. The word trembled in the air, almost as if you were lying to convince yourself. You sat down, staring blankly at the rain starting to fall outside. Every drop against the windows sounded like the ticking of time, like something waiting to happen. Maybe, maybe that night was not supposed to happen. A small tear slipped down your cheeks. Hours later, suddenly you heard someone knocking at the door. You froze. Another knock, harder this time. You hesitate, your heart racing as you slowly walk towards the door. The rain poured heavily outside, dripping down the small window near the entrance. You could barely see the figure standing there, dark clothes stretched, still silent. Your hands trembled as you unlocked the door. The door swung open and there he was, Jungkook, standing in the rain. Hair was wet, water dripping down the jawline. His eyes were cold, but soft and calm. Before a storm, Jungkook. And then, without saying anything, Jungkook stepped forward and pulled you into his arms. Yesterday, after he left for mission, he went to his teammates, and today, after that, had a meeting. Just right before flying to his mission place, he was checking his phone for the last time. While checking a message on his phone, a notification appeared, an unknown number, your doctor's clinic. He frowned to as he opened it. At first, it was just a simple message following up on your wife's recent checkup. Please make sure she rests properly. Her pregnancy is still early, but everything looks fine. He got shocked. Pregnant? For a second, he couldn't breathe. His jaw tightened. He read the message again and again, word by word, as if hoping he was mistaken. You pregnant? 6 weeks? His heart started pounding. Anger, confusion, fear, everything hit at once. His hand on his in his hair, trying to calm himself, cause he do remember about that night. Why didn't she tell me? He immediately called his mansion. Sir, madam, she left this morning. She took her bag and said no to tell you. What? Cancel everything. We are going back. You stood frozen in his arm, unable to understand whether to pull away or just stay. His embrace was not rough. It was trembling, full of something he didn't know how to say. When he finally loosed his hold, his eyes matured, the same cold gaze, but softer now, broken at the edges. You really thought I wouldn't find out? What? That you are. Because you said you hate kids. You said that they make things complicated. I didn't want to be a burden. Jungkook, I didn't want this child to be unwanted, and I thought you don't remember about the night. If I tell you, you might question me. I pretending to not to remember that night because our relation is based on a contract, and I've never said I hate kids. I said I'm good with them. He looked at him confused, tears already burning your Varian. You should have told me why, and I deserve to know. I'm scared that you would walk away. He took a step closer, cupping your face gently, his thumb brushing away at tears of your cheeks. Walk away? When you're carrying my reason to live?